February to arrive without our permission. Because last I heard, we were all still in New Year's mode, like vision boarding, setting our goals, fresh start. All of a sudden, it's the second month of the year. I wanted to quickly announce that my clothing collection with Mindset by Dive Studios is coming out soon. It's my first ever clothing merchandise line. I'm actually wearing it right now. Super cute hoodie, cozy. 100% of the profits are going to the Asian Mental Health Collective, and the first 50 people to order a hoodie will be getting a free ShopAmandaRachLee dotted notebook. I feel like it's a win-win-win-win-win. It'll be like our planning uniform. There's something cute about the little doodles wearing matching hoodies and t-shirts to bullet journal together. Anyway, I'll talk more about the story behind the hoodie and the message on the back later in the video because it is a really special project to me. Anyway, let's get started planning. Feminine, dainty, soft, angelic, and nostalgic. These are all words to describe the coquette aesthetic that has been the newest trendy style recently all over Pinterest and TikTok. It takes inspiration from balletcore, royalcore, romantic, and light academia, as well as the soft grunge girl and messy French girl style. A lot of people have been saying this aesthetic has been on the rise because it focuses on embracing one's femininity instead of hypersexualizing it. Almost like reclaiming what femininity means, which, used to be seen as inferior, but now it is something strong and beautiful in its own way. The name and word coquette is defined as the woman who flirts, and I believe it also derives from French, where it's typically used to describe a young girl who is very preoccupied by her appearance. A lot of the elements from the coquette aesthetic have been seen before from different trends and styles like the Lolita and soft grunge styles, and you see these in items like lace, silk, skirts, knitted stockings, chunky heels, pearls, hearts, and frills, and basically anything that is typically, like girly girl. But what I think is new and reinventive about the coquette aesthetic, especially in 2023, is that focus on unapologetically being yourself and embracing your inner girly girl as an adult. For me personally, like a lot of other girls, I grew up kind of hating pink and wearing dresses. I think it was subconsciously ingrained in me from society that being a girly girl meant being weak or frail or being inferior, and that liking makeup and clothes was just really vain and pointless. I definitely think society teaches us to look down on anything that is too feminine. When you see girls wearing pink or pigtails, they'll typically be seen as childish or girly. Or in the workplace, if a woman is wearing a dress, she might not be taken as seriously as one who is wearing a suit. Which is not to bash anyone who wants to wear suits, by the way. I think the whole point is that we should be able to wear and style ourselves however we want, even if that includes traditionally more feminine things. And liking those traditionally feminine things doesn't make you any less strong. So even though I don't personally dress in the coquette style fully, there are definitely elements from this aesthetic that I've been loving lately, namely wearing ribbons in my hair, soft pink blushy cheeks, light colors. It definitely feels a little bit nostalgic to me to put ribbons in my hair or wear something that has like hearts or flowers all over it. Nowadays, I really like to combine a lot of different types of styles, like I will wear ribbons in my hair, but then at the same time, I'll be wearing like a black leather jacket and sneakers. And I think that definitely reflects my personality, and it also carries through in my bullet journal and art style. You guys know I've tried a lot of different themes and art styles over the year. This particular aesthetic is definitely not what I usually do in my bullet journal, but it was so fun for me to use for this month's bullet journal theme and to just really tap into that hyper feminine girly girl style. When I was doing research about this aesthetic, I saw it being described as sending love letters to yourself on a daily basis, which I loved, especially because of course this is a theme that I was choosing for February, aka Valentine's Day month. And for me personally, I think there's something about this style and aesthetic that yes, is like, sending a love letter to myself, but especially sending letters to younger Amanda who stopped herself from wearing dresses or wearing pink or wearing her hair in pigtails. So anyway, that was my little ramble on the Coquette aesthetic. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing a little bit more about it. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I feel like there's so much to discuss when it comes to talking about different styles and femininity and what that means in the context of history and fashion and gender roles in society. So I just wanted to lightly discuss it for this bullet journal theme, especially since, of course, my theme was inspired by it. As you can see while I was creating it, the cover page for this month definitely embodies that hyper feminine girly look. For the cover page and calendar spread, I created this border around it, and I wanted to almost make it look like an embroidery ring, so I added these like frills on the edge of the cover page. And for the calendar page, the border was a scalloped lace design, which I thought was really pretty. I added details like dashed lines to make it look like embroidery stitching, of course pink ribbons and little roses because I wanted it to look like embroidered flowers or roses. And for the lettering, I used this really elegant cursive style, but I actually didn't use a brush pen for it. I wanted it to look like a ribbon or like embroidery stitching. So I actually used a thin fine liner and did sort of like a faux calligraphy style by doubling up my lines whenever I did the lettering. And then I actually added real lace trim ribbon to my bullet journal spread, which I just affixed with some adhesive roller tape. I kind of just did it in places where the lace was thicker and it stuck right in there perfectly. I don't know why I have never tried this before, because I think adding lace to your bullet journal spreads is so pretty and it actually lies pretty flat, so I didn't have any issues with that. Oh, I forgot to mention the biggest elephant in the room, which is me actually using colored pencils or pencil crayons, coloring pencils, depending on what you call them where you're from. I actually call them pencil crayons because I'm Canadian. If you've been around my channel for a while, then you know that pencil crayons are definitely not my favorite medium to color with. I'm typically a marker girl, but I felt that this theme really was screaming for me using pencil crayons, and even more surprising, I actually enjoyed it. With the pencil crayons, I was really able to shade in a large area relatively quickly with this cream shade and pink shades. I mixed a couple pinks to create a soft peachy pastel baby pink color, which I think looks perfect for this theme. And I used a lighter hand as well to give it that dreamy, hazy look. And the end result is this very soft pink theme. Okay, moving on to my trackers for the month. I started with my habit tracker, and I did the title in that same sort of very traditional cursive, very elegant lettering, again with that faux calligraphy style, except it's not like a true faux calligraphy because I wasn't doing the typical thing where I make all of the downstrokes way thicker. I was really just kind of like doubling up on the lines just to give it some more thickness and boldness, but also again making it look almost like a ribbon that is twisting and turning into these letters. For each habit that I wanted to track, I created this horizontal bar layout with 28 boxes, one for each day of the month, and I added a little Coquette style doodle on the side. So I had these roses, I had like a very ornate mirror, a bow that is kind of frilly and pink, and then a rabbit. Honestly, that one, I just thought it fit the aesthetic. And also it's Year of the Rabbit for Lunar New Year calendar, so happy Lunar New Year. Of course, more ribbons and bows, and then finally a little teacup. Now, speaking of tracking your habit and your mood, this is the perfect time for me to talk about Mindset by Dive Studios because they are a mental wellness tracking app, and my merch capsule collection with them is coming out soon. So voiceover Amanda is going to throw it over to real life Amanda, who is going to talk about it right now. I know so many of you guys have been asking for clothing merch from me for a while, but I held off on it because I felt like there was a lot of clothing lines and clothing merch collections out there, but that's why I wanted to make this one almost like a special project, a little community thing for us to give back. If you guys don't know about Dive Studios and Mindset, Dive Studios was created by the Nom brothers. Yes, Nom as in Eric Nom, the one that I interviewed years back. They create a lot of content with musicians and artists, and Mindset is their mental wellness check-in app, which I really love, by the way. I actually use it to get a lot of quotes for my bullet journal because they give you like a daily quote. You can also track your mood every day and write something that you're grateful for, and it'll kind of like keep a log for you. And there's also a lot of little like audio booster packs by the artists that you might know and love. There's like guided meditations, soundscapes. It's really cool, and I just love what they're doing within the mental wellness and mental health space. You guys know how open I've been about my mental health struggles with you guys, and I think part of the reason why I'm able to do that with you is because I've been to a lot of therapy, and I also feel like I have this safe space with you guys, the little doodles, and I'm very lucky for that. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't have access to a safe space or to therapy. So that's why for this collection, we really wanted to work with the Asian Mental Health Collective. I will be donating 100% of the profits. Now, on a more serious note, we were actually supposed to launch earlier this week, but I pushed it because of the really tragic, heartbreaking events that happened in Monterey Park in California. If you haven't heard about it, there was a mass shooting within Monterey Park, which is a predominantly Asian community. Obviously, I wanted to give space to the community to grieve, but also I think it is really even more applicable because the Asian Mental Health Collective is working to donate a lot of funds. I'm glad that the funds from this collection can go towards that. We were going to be donating to the Asian Mental Health Collective anyway, but seeing that they are working to donate towards the victims' families and also provide resources for therapy for obviously these very tragic, traumatic events is even more special to me. The quote on the back says, "I'm trying my best," which is the quote that I showed in my January plan with me. That little sentence has done so much for me over the past couple of years. It may not seem like much, but I feel like what it means to me is, you know, when I'm stressed about anything or anxious or depressed, I just say that to myself. That is acknowledging that, you know, I'm doing everything that I can, and as long as I am trying my best, that's all I can ask of myself. It's really just, you know, accepting yourself and being kinder to yourself, especially during hard situations. I really wanted to put that on the hoodie so that, you know, when you're wearing it, you can really feel that comfort for yourself and feel like, you know what, I am trying my best. Anyway, I rambled on a lot. I'm gonna put the details of when and where you can grab the collection. There's a hoodie and a matching t-shirt. And by the way, the first 50 people who order a hoodie in their order will get a free ShopAmandaRachLee notebook. I think that's a pretty good deal. For the cost of a hoodie, you'd be getting a free dotted notebook. And besides all of that, the profits are going to charities. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the collection. This hoodie is so cozy. Of course, I had to choose like this cream beige color because, as you can see, I just like neutral everything. The Mindset and Dive Studios team has been so amazing to work with. I can really feel how much this project meant to them as well. They gave me a lot of creative freedom, and it was really truly like a collaboration, which I appreciate because look at it. It's super cute. Okay, back to the video. Okay, so for my mood tracker, I started by tracing out a circle shape using a round object. And for this mood tracker, I thought of the idea of having this sort of lace doily shape, this circular shape, and on each scallop of the lace is where I'll be tracking my mood. You'll see later that I create this key where the number of dots that I put within each scallop represents the mood. So eventually the whole lace design will be filled in. I put mood tracker at the top in that same cursive lettering, and then I made sure to count out the number of days and sketch out those scallop designs, except I ended up miscounting anyway, so there was no point of me sketching it out beforehand. As a little extra detail and some quick little doodles, I added those pink ribbons on the corners to give it a framing design, and then I numbered out each day all around that circle. Finally, coloring everything in with my light pink pencil crayon as well as the cream pencil crayon. These are Prismacolor pencil crayons, by the way. I'll link them down below. They're really nice to use. Maybe you guys will see me experiment with pencil crayons more this year because I was honestly surprised by how much I enjoyed it. I think especially for softer themes like this, I really like using it. Oh, here's that key legend I was talking about, which shows the lace designs within each scallop that'll represent each mood. And then to finish off the boxes for the trackers, I added a dashed line around each box to give it that dainty look, as well as to make it look like embroidery. And for this month, the habits that I'm tracking are taking my vitamins, working out, journaling, stretching, meditating, and decluttering. So I'm really focusing on mental wellness and mental health this month in honor of my Mindset capsule collection. So the next spreads that I'm making are my romanticizing spreads, and as you can tell by how much I decorated my tabletop in my background, I definitely got very engrossed in this romantic, idyllic, angelic aesthetic of Coquette. So I wanted to create a little romanticize your life music playlist. So in order to do that, I created this border around it with those same frills from the cover page. To do this, you kind of just create like a random wavy line all around, and you can add those pleats and bunches and ruffles all around it as well. I added that dashed line around it to give it more structure. I'm in my romanticizing my life era. I feel like we all need to romanticize our lives a little bit out of survival because the mundaneness and darkness of the world can sometimes get to you. So sometimes you just need to pretend like you're the main character of a movie, and that's exactly what this playlist is to me. I just chose all the songs where I feel like I'm the main character whenever I listen to them. You know those songs, the songs where you listen to them and you want to stare out the car window while it's raining, or the songs where you're walking down the street and you feel like everyone's looking at you. That's this playlist to me. Granted, a lot of it is sad music, but maybe that's because I want my life to be like a melodramatic drama. To me, the Coquette aesthetic definitely has some romanticized aspects to it. A lot of the images that I see in my brain are almost like scenes from movies where, you know, the girl has like flowing hair in a field of flowers, or I picture someone in like moody lighting putting on their makeup next to their vanity with like jewelry and perfume and stuff. So I don't know. This is just where my brain goes, okay? I'm definitely the daydreamer type, so I have to visualize and fully engross myself in a vibe or theme, which I really did for this month. Next, I have a very simple spread just because I needed some blank space to start planning something very exciting. As you can see, I'm writing out romanticize your space because I am in the process of renovating and making over my entire apartment, which by the way has been taking so much longer than I expected. Don't worry, I am filming everything, and I know it's been a while since I moved into my new space and I've been promising apartment videos, but I just never realized how much work and time goes into making over an entire apartment space. So please be patient with me. I promise those videos are coming out as soon as possible. I don't want to spoil too much about the vibe of my space that I'm going for, but definitely one of my goals was to make it ultra cozy and to romanticize my space. I won't say more, but keep on the lookout for those videos. Alright, finally we made it to the first weekly spread of February. So for this weekly spread, I went for a vertical layout. I think I divided the boxes out by 6 and I left a two grid space border on the left side. And I outlined the entire thing in that scallop design because I wanted to make it look like a lace sheet. And then I divided out the columns for the days with the dashed lines. I actually really like how dashed lines look. I think I'm gonna include this more in future spreads because it gives it a very light, soft look. And I feel like once I fill in my tasks, I'll be able to like really focus on the text versus the lines and the designs. And then honestly, other than that, I didn't really add too much else besides a pink ribbon in the shape of a bow at the top and coloring it in softly with my pencil crayon. Keeping in line with the Coquette aesthetic, I wanted to keep my spreads pretty simple yet ornate, which is definitely a hallmark design aspect of the Coquette aesthetic. Those like simple, clean objects, but adding like ornate details such as lace or gold accessories, so that's what I tried to emulate with my spread. Even with my text, I used my natural regular handwriting, nothing too fancy, and then of course colored it in with my pencil crayons and added a little rose on the right side. Alright guys, so here's the final flip through of my February 2023 Coquette, soft, romantic, ballet core aesthetic bullet journal setup. I hope you guys like it. It was definitely different for me, but I really enjoyed making it and getting myself fully engrossed and learning more about the origins of this aesthetic. Now that I'm looking at the whole setup, I feel like it also kind of gives off grandma core a little bit. I feel like because of the lace and the embroidery aspects of it, which I'm not against. I love me some grandma core. Alright guys, as we close off this video, here are some of your recreations and doodle planner spreads from last month. Look at them, super cute. If you do recreate it, tag me, you guys know the deal. And again, make sure to mark down in your calendars the launch of my clothing collection with Mindset. 100% of the profits are going to charity, and I hope we can come together to donate a lot of money. Okay, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Keep doodling.